You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Hang on. G, hang on a second. G, hang on a second. We have another issue. You're not transmitting through Spreaker now. I don't know why not, but you're not. So, right now everybody's just hearing me, so. It records through Spreaker, so just give it a minute and I'll fix it. I gotta figure out why it's not pointed in the right direction. Hang on. And it's because the inputs are wrong again. No, actually, well, you guys can say whatever you want because nobody can hear you right now. They can only hear me. Yeah, I'm working on fixing that, but it's being a pain. It's because I have the settings console open, so it's doing the whole I am the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Sorry guys, this is kind of one-sided right now.
Doing pretty good. How are you? Oh, good, thanks. Good. You know, I
We're going to have some fun with the time that we have left now that the technical difficulties seem to have been ironed out.
We're just going to go commercial free, so just you'll get your whole time. We're just not going to take a break, so just run with it.
Well, see that, folks. That's what a generous boss does. He knows it and he owns it and he takes care of business, and I love him for it. He's the busiest man in show business, and you're going to be catching him next hour, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to hang out a little while with him and Orty on filling in for Sam on FUBAR. That's what's coming up after us, but we have a great show for you tonight here. Before we get rolling into it, Rick, are you doing your show tonight after FUBAR?
It depends on how much of a voice I have left after doing the little bit of back and forth we do here, plus being on there for a whole hour. I'm not sure my voice can take 2 full hours in a row, so we'll see. It just depends on how I feel after FUBAR. I'm planning on it, yes, but that's playing by ear.
He'll be there, folks. Don't worry about it. He's a trooper. Anyway.
Thanks for deciding for me there, kid. Yeah, I just appreciate it.
Tonight is all about a very misfit Christmas, and we have our friends from Misfit Politics with us tonight. We have Jen with us, who you know, and Rex just left.
Oh, shoot. Did it happen again? He is having trouble. Gosh, this is just like the night of technical difficulties.
It is. And I don't know, did he ever, when I asked him, did he ever say who his provider was?
I couldn't tell. I know that he has issues with, like, different things at different times. And then he'll be totally fine and not have any issues. But, of course, when you want to get something done and you want to do something fun like this, that will be when you have all the problems at once.
Always, just like last week. You know, Rick ended up having to splice last week's show into pieces and put it together into one show.
Oh, man.
So, at least it recorded everything, so that was fun. But anyway, right now we have Jen with us from Misfit Politics, and we're gonna talk with Jen about holiday traditions, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But I know, Jen, that not everybody that is in the chat room right now was around when we had our very first show together, where we had you and a few of the Misfits on. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about Misfits, because the question's already been broached, and I've been hit with it a few times online prior to the show tonight. So go ahead and just give us some background about Misfits, if you would.
Yeah, so back when Twitter decided to add group DMing as a feature, there had been several of us that were just kind of always found ourselves in the same threads together. We ended up, not just liking stuff about politics, but also talking about all sorts of other things. And we realized that we like to have a lot of fun and make a lot of jokes. And there's always like band jokes, which is Rex's specialty. And then there's always, and just all sorts of things like that. And we had just started to really kind of become, I don't know, like there just seemed to be a lot in common with certain people. So when the group DM thing came along, I went ahead and started one, and I just kind of threw in a bunch of different people that I was like, oh, I talk to you a lot on Twitter, and we all kind of talk on Twitter a lot. And some of them immediately left because they were like, we don't even know what this is, and this is weird and creepy. And then some people stuck around, and then along the way we've lost some, we picked up some, but it just kind of about, I don't know, maybe 6 months into having a group DM all together where we started to become like a little bit of a family, we realized we were writing each other, we were having really good debates, and because we don't all think alike, by the way. We do have common interests, but we don't all think alike. And we were sending these long DMs, and it was like explaining a position on something or how we felt about something, or we've had different people, and we've had people that are in various areas of expertise. So that like someone will ask them a question, and it's like, oh yeah, here, I can go off on the financial market and how there are things there that can be explained. And then this person over here can get more onto a legal side. And then this person over here, we have two veterans, so they can really talk about military issues and protocol. And so we were just sending these long DMs sometimes, and it was like, gosh, everyone in here like writes pretty well. Why don't we start a blog? And it can be totally for fun. No one's obligated, whatever. And basically we said, okay, what the heck? Let's give it a shot. And we had someone who is a professional editor who offered to edit with us. And it's all a labor of love. And we aren't on a rigorous time schedule or anything. And there's nobody really cracking a whip. So that's why you'll see that sometimes there'll be 18 pieces in 1 week, and then you might only have one over the next 2 weeks. So you can't, we just let it be whatever it's going to be. And we've just kind of formed great friendships from there, and it's just developed over time, and that's how it is.
Well, that's perfect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And just...
somebody's in a car,
Hello.
A car hanging out a window.
That may have been Rex trying to connect again.
And maybe he's muted
Rex
now.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe so. Hello.
Hello?
I don't know how this sounds because I have to go through. Anyway, I'm currently on an earpiece on a phone, so it's tenuous at best. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We made that part out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we've got Jen with us. We've got Rex with us. We don't know if Daniel's going to make it or not. Maybe towards the end, maybe not. We'll just play it by ear and go. But it is a show about holiday traditions, and this is my second year of doing this. And you guys, this will be your first time in. You didn't participate last year, and that was largely my fault. But I'll live with that shame. And since we have Rex connected right now, let's go ahead and start with him because we don't know how long his connection will last. So, yeah, Rex, go ahead and give us a little background. What do you like to do with your family for holidays, tradition-wise?
Well, it's kind of weird saying it when Jen was first talking about this, because I for many years there, I really didn't have any sort of, it was like watch Die Hard, drink beers. That's pretty much it. Stay home and, maybe go get some Waffle House or something. But for years before that in England, I used to have to go over to my wife Dawn's parents' house. That was a great yeah, that was probably the most fun series of Christmases that I had. I think we had 4 of those together. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to do the math, but I think it's 4. I was there for 7 years, and it was always cool because her dad's a traditional kind of guy, and they lived in this little council house thing. They bought it, they owned it, but it was a council house type place, like a little townhouse type deal. And that little tiny kitchen, and her mom and dad were always fighting in the kitchen, and he'd do like a whole goose, and stuff, and or a turkey or whatever, and then we'd stay up late into the night drinking. Me and him, everybody else would go to bed. Me and him would stay up late into the night and drinking port and eating sticky cheese, and I was probably usually smoking a cigar, and that was a pretty cool time. Now this year I'm starting a new one because I moved and I live right here where my grandkids live, so and I can buy them stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be starting a new tradition this year, buying my grandkids Christmas presents.
Hey, that's great though, man. That's fun.
I think it is. I think they're gonna dig it because they're little kids.
Yeah, well, of course they're gonna dig it. I mean, Grandpa's there, and they're getting spoiled, and that's just all good stuff. I mean,
the novelty will probably wear off soon, and I'll be giving them $20 on a Christmas card. But for now, I'm just thinking up stuff to buy.
They're still small enough right now to actually appreciate a present, even if it's the smallest thing. They're just like, "Oh, I get to open something." That's
right. They're usually more enthralled with the wrapping than they are the actual present. So.
Oh, I wouldn't. I don't know, man. If they didn't have ponytails and bows in their hair, you wouldn't know the little girls. They're rough and tumble, man.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
They love getting into there. Oh no, not at all. I love it. I thought about buying Tonka trucks.
There you go. Hey, you know what you should do is you should get them and take them over to the Dauphin Island Christmas Parade. For those of you that don't know, Rex and I live pretty close to one another, literally almost a stone's throw. So there's
pretty wide, baby. Yeah, close enough.
I mean, literally, you got to cross 3 rivers and 1 bridge. That we affectionately call the Dolly Parton Bridge because of the way it's formed.
Yeah, that's it. Very nice.
I mean, we're literally 15, 20 miles apart.
Yeah, I was thinking I might see if anybody wants to go roll through the Hank, that light show thing they do. I was just looking at that last night online. Christmas Nights of Lights or something like that.
Yeah, that was actually nice. We did that last year.
Yeah, it's like $6 a head or something.
Yeah, $6 a head. It takes about 20 minutes to roll through it, but it's really nice. They do a good job with it.
I might do that. I don't know.
Get those little ones and go do it. And you can do Bellingrath in the same night. That'll be real fun.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if Grandpa can handle those 2 littles for those 2 trips all in one night.
You'd be surprised.
You said I got a shit. I think they would love it. Yeah, we might have to see about doing that, at least with the littles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'd have a blast. They have a nice little stop halfway through Bellingrath. You can stop and get like a little snack and some hot chocolate and
nice.
Press on.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't been out there in years. I might check it out.
Yeah, it's actually nice. It really is. Oh man. So, well, that's good. I like the idea of new traditions as well. So you're actually doing something that nobody else has brought forward on the show before in the holiday tradition shows. So I like that. That's good. That's why we got everybody on here. Everything's different. So, all right. So we're going to we'll jump from Rex to Jen. And I think we're trying to get Daniel added in here right now. But Jen, are you with us still? You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I have to not have you muted in order to be heard. That's right.
Right. So,
I didn't want y'all to hear me, sipping on my wine while Rex was talking. So
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You will hear my ice rattle every once in a while too, so don't worry about that. So we just got done talking with Rex, and he's actually kicking off all these new traditions. And I actually gave him a couple of ideas that sounded like it panicked him a little bit, but hopefully he'll give it a go with the littles, and they'll all have a good time. So, Jen, you're out in Texas, and
yes.
We won't narrow it down any further than that. We don't want any doxing or anything like that going on, but you're in a beautiful part of Texas out there. So tell us, family traditions for the holidays. What do you guys do?
Oh, boy. Y'all, we do us some Christmas. Let me tell you.
Here.
We do, and I've got most of my family's in Texas, but there's some scattered all over, and then we go back to, like, the homestead, which is my grandmother's 100-plus-year-old house that her grandfather built in Oklahoma, in small-town Oklahoma. There's not even a stoplight, and that's where the whole family convenes for our family Christmas, and we just have the best time. But leading up to Christmas, we have a few traditions. First of all, one of them is perfect because it's tomorrow, St. Nicholas Day, which is celebrated on December 6th. It's actually the Feast of St. Nicholas is tomorrow, celebrated around the world, and because it's the day he died, but he was a wealthy born man who ended up giving a lot to the poor, and it's kind of where the tradition comes from of giving out gifts. It kind of turned into Santa Claus along the way, but it all started with St. Nicholas, and so we have just had a family tradition. Some people still put out the shoes and stuff because that's the original way to do it, is to put out a shoe and get a coin in your shoe or whatever. But my family has just adapted it into another day to tell the people that mean the most to you that you love them and give them a small token of your affection. Like for my son, he's going to get a Christmas book that he'll be able to enjoy the rest of the season. But I still get them from like my aunts, and my mom will be like, "Oh, I have your and your husband's St. Nicholas Day gifts," and there's so much of it going around. And sometimes it's just like it's a gift card to Chick-fil-A or something, just something, but there's a sweet little card in it. It's Happy St. Nicholas Day. And for us, it kind of signals the beginning of this, wonderful giving season. So that's the first thing.
I like that.
Yeah. And if you look up St. Nicholas Day and kind of read about it, there's different traditions in different countries. But I don't know. It's just one more little thing to make it kind of about the right reasons for the season, and to, just enjoy it, to add something else to enjoy it. And it comes from a historical place. So pretty cool. The next thing is we always do an annual baking party, and we invite women and friends from all sides of our families, and my mom does it. And friends. We do family and friends.
Okay. You said women and friends. I was.
Women in our family and friends. Sorry, I skipped the women family part. So we host this. My mom hosts this baking party. Usually help her, and everybody brings like a recipe or two. It can be something they just found on Pinterest, or it can be something they've always made that's their grandmother's cookies or something. And we do crock-pot chocolate. We do fudge. We do cookies. We do haystacks. All sorts of things get made. My grandma has a recipe of that kind of Chex Mix stuff that a lot of people make that we call Texas trash. That's her own specific recipe, so we make a bunch of that. And we just enjoy it. We hang out with each other. We enjoy each other. We help each other with the recipes. And then the idea is that you make what you want to take home. You don't have to be leaving it, but you also kind of share with everybody. So everyone kind of makes a double batch of whatever they're having, and that way everybody can kind of try. And then some people don't want to take the sweets home because they're going to have enough, and they're like, okay, divvy it up between y'all, and y'all take these and you take those. And we just put on Christmas music in the background, drink some wine or mimosas, and bake all day. And then usually the significant others keep the kiddos if that's doable, and then they show up at the end to have final taste testing. So
I'd have more ass than a donkey farm after that.
So that's really fun too. But actually for Christmas, we've got a couple goofy things we do. We do something called Christmas Eve gift. And that means at midnight when it turns Christmas Eve, so like the 23rd turning to the 24th.
Gotcha.
when we used to all be able to be in the same place at the same time, we would try to all get to my grandmother's on the 22nd or 23rd, so we're there leading up to Christmas. It would be whoever said it first. Whoever noticed that it was midnight and said Christmas Eve gift first got an extra gift. I think at one point it was just open a gift of yours that was already there, and you got to open a gift early. Now it's actually that like my aunt and my mom and like they like get extra gifts to be the Christmas Eve gifts. But it turns what was supposed to be like the one person is lucky and gets to open their Christmas Eve gift. We all still fight over making it on time like crazy. I mean, we all have our texts like ready to go now that we're all usually traveling that night or going to be traveling the next day. And so not everyone's together until the actual 24th sometimes, but everyone's got it ready, and then we're all sending it at the same time, like trying to send the group message and like Christmas Eve, and it's so funny how impassioned we get over the fact that it's like, no, mine was the first one in. Look on my phone, it shows that mine was the first one, and it's like, no, on mine it was. You were right after me, and then I mean, we get so intense, even though we don't give a crap about the gift. We're just competitive by nature, and we're like, no, I won Christmas Eve gift, and then it doesn't matter anyways because the next day between my aunt and my mom and my grandma and my cousin, like everybody gets a dang Christmas Eve gift, so it doesn't even really matter.
So what I expect is the either mom or dad or somebody to step up and, you kids knock that crap off or I'll turn this Christmas around right now.
Yeah, but it's actually what's worse is that they like encourage it and go harder in the paint than we do.
That's fun. That's hilarious.
So, I mean, we've been doing that for as long as I can remember. I think it started before I was born. So it's just a silly Christmas Eve gift thing. And now it's turned into things where, like, we joke and we send each other texts that say, like, Christmas Eve gift. And we're like, wait, I get that too, right? Right? Oh, man. But, yeah, I guess, and then one of the other funny things that I always love to share with people is that, you know, on Christmas Day, we usually do bubble bread. We call it bubble bread. A lot of people call it monkey bread, but it's a very specific recipe of that we've had forever. At breakfast casserole, and everyone's making coffee, and now that most of us are older and have younger kids instead of having instead of a bunch of us being teenagers, now there's also some Baileys in the mix maybe, or a few mimosas in the mix, but our Christmas has evolved a little bit. I started getting miniature, liquor bottles in my stocking and went, ooh, now the real fun begins. I used to love it when it was toys, but now I get busy.
Were you listening last week by chance when Aggie was on?
I did get to listen. I listened later, but yes.
Her Advent countdown?
That is incredible. That is actually incredible.
It was. And you talked about the little liquor bottles in your stocking. Yep. I was thinking, there we go. We got nips going on.
Nips, all the nips. So one of the things that's always been the case, though, is that whatever of the kids, first of all, in my family, it's if you don't believe, you don't receive. So you better not be saying anything about Santa Claus not being real because you're not going to get any gifts. So we do this whole thing where, and we used to hate it when we were kids, but now we pass it on to our kids, and now we're the jerks. But they used to make the stairs like come down into the kitchen, but as soon as you come to the bottom of the stairs, you can see the living room where the Christmas tree is. So they used to make us stay upstairs, and we would sit on the stairs as close as we could without being able to see the living room because they had to get the video cameras ready, and the women had to get their and dads had to put their contacts in or whatever it was, and they would tease us and take their sweet, I guess we're almost ready for you to come see, because in our family, your Santa gift is set out for the kids. It's like, because sometimes the Santa gift's like a bigger present, maybe it's a bike or something. So it's been assembled and it's been placed in front of the tree for the kids. Now, at one point we had 5 grandkids, and they're my more like nieces and nephews, but my grandmother and great grandmother, they're grandkids, and that was a little bit of a tight fit with also that. We're talking about I have like 25 people here, and we all stay on the same property, so it's pretty chaotic. It's pretty crazy, but they make them sit on the stairs, and we would sing songs and chant. And I used to hate it when I was little because we're like, oh my gosh, come on, oh my gosh, you just want to get down there, see your Santa present. But now we've passed it on through the generations, and all little kids have to do this until we're ready to video and capture the moment that they see what they got. And then from there we take a break. They do their Santa thing, and then we take a break and, have to actually really make sure everyone's up. Usually the teenage boys are still sleeping. And then we do group Christmas, which is so crazy and so big. So a lot of times we have to take a break in between. We're like, pause, everybody go get some food, everybody chill. We'll reconvene in a minute and finish the presents, which very often can be labeled to you as being from a celebrity of sorts if it fits with the gift, or we even get presents from dead pets and things sometimes. I mean, whatever someone wants to say to be absolutely ridiculous, you could be getting. I've gotten plenty of gifts from Mac Brown, from Daryl K. Royal. I've gotten gifts from Rachel Ray. I've gotten gifts from Justin Timberlake. So it can be very surprising who sends us stuff.
That's hilarious. No, I think that's great. Why not have some fun with it? It doesn't all have to be stuffy and traditional.
Right. So, if you're giving someone a baking set or whatever, then, it might be from Martha Stewart. So, we're always doing so, and new things pop up all the time that someone does. My family is so ridiculously creative, and we're all musical and everything. So that whole thing when you watch a movie and people burst into song and you go, oh, that doesn't happen in real life. And I'm like,
it does.
Well, actually, at my house and with my family, it always has. And we're probably taking 4-point harmony. So I mean, we're kind of that disgusting group. And yes, we sing all the songs.
Well, somebody's got to sing them. That's how they get carried on. Exactly. But it is funny. We'll all sit there and someone will start one and everybody will be singing, and then inevitably someone has some goofy game for us to do, whether it's there's inflatable antlers with rings to toss to put on it. We've done stupid skits and things. So Christmas Eve is a really big deal leading into Christmas Day, and we just are about as obnoxiously festive as you could possibly imagine. Well, I like it. I don't care what anybody says. I like it. And, what do we got going on in the chat? We got talk of pony kegs and Britney Spears. I have no idea.
They're going to send me a gift and label it from Obama.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure I've gotten a gift from Reagan before, and maybe W. I'm not sure. I don't know that I've gotten one from anyone on that other opposing aisle that I don't like to talk about.
I understand. Yeah, maybe a you didn't build that erector set from Obama.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give my kiddo something that's a building set and be like, sorry, this is from Obama. He doesn't believe you can do it.
or like if you have an environmentalist friend, give him a solar panel and tell him it's from Solyndra or something.
Oh yeah. Hey, that'd be great idea. See, leave it to Rex to spawn a great idea here. You get somebody a wireless phone charger and make it from Solyndra.
Yep. There you go.
That would work. That would work. See, you're good for more than just being Rex.
Well, I just throw the fire on the table. You throw the water on it, mix that shit up, dude. I like the charger idea better than the solar panel idea.
Yeah, I mean, give somebody a solar panel. What the hell am I going to do with this? Hey, put it on the roof of your car and charge your phone while you're going down the road.
Oh man, yeah,
we up there with the dog.
I'm telling you though, once you start thinking about it, you can get pretty creative with almost anything that you're giving someone and figure out, someone that's at least a sort of household name to say that you're giving it from. And of course, like sports fans, it becomes really, really easy, especially if you're in a family that where you're crazy about certain teams. See, this is my family that's split Texas OU. So people can be opening stuff that says Sooner, or people can be opening Burn Orange. You just never know.
You just look. Here's an idea. The ideas are hitting the chat room already. Buy an internet modem and label it from Al Gore. What is
a good one?
Send some homebrew to someone and label it from Jimmy Carter. I think that would be Billy Carter, not Jimmy, but yeah, that would work. Some Billy beer, homebrew.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, you can always count on the chat room.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, and I'm telling y'all, we'll wear those stupid dang headbands with the antlers, or the light up necklaces, you know, with the Christmas lights around the necklace. I mean, it's out of control. But it makes it so much fun, especially while raising kids. Kids just, they eat that up. And we do the jingling of the bells outside so that they think it's the sleigh coming. And, you know, there's just, especially once kiddos are involved, it's really cool to see all that. It makes you want to be even more festive because they eat it up. They love every bit of it.
You sold me. I mean, I'm all down for it.
Oh, and a picture came through.
I see that.
Yeah, here's Eric with his reindeer antler headband on. See? Cheers, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Is it just me, or do his eyes look a terrible bloodshot?
Oh, man. Well.
Yeah, okay. I just saw a message from Daniel pop up. I think he's about to join us, so.
Yay!
Hey, we'll have COVID. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I do still partake in some of the other, you know, stupid traditions, like going to see Santa at the mall, and you know, we've got a trail of lights here that, you know, you can go walk, and there's a big Christmas tree at the end and all of that, and all of that stuff is really, really commercial, but it is really fun. And I got away from doing it for so long because there were no young kids around, but now that I have a 5-year-old, you know, we're right back in that mix, and it's
there you go. And that's, you know, that's what I was telling Rex. The Bellinggrass, it's like a botanical gardens area over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I don't know, it's probably I don't know, some 600, 700, 800 acres, something like that.
Yeah.
They decorate the whole thing up, and it's a big walking trail through the garden. So, and there's a halfway point where you can stop and get hot chocolate and rest and listen to a little band play Christmas songs, and it's nice. You know, it's commercial, but it's nice.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing is, you know, I did try to, for a while, avoid some of those things that required waiting in line too long and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, I found other things to do that are still sort of commercial, but that you can navigate really well. Like, we go to a Christmas tree farm out here, even though we can't have one inside our place. But it's still fun to go, and it's an actual Christmas tree farm. And then they've got the farm animals out, and they set up a little nativity set, and you know, they've got ornaments, you know, homemade ornaments and hot chocolate and all of that kind of thing. So there's stuff like that to go do that can also just be really fun, that isn't just your typical, like, Santa's Village at the mall, you know.
Yeah. Well, and your little guy's going to like that stuff, too, so.
Oh, yeah. He is already asking me this year if we're going back to where the trees are, because they had, you know, all the farm animals, and they had llamas, and I mean, you know, he was just so enamored. And, of course, at that age, that's what he is mostly enamored with, is, like, live animals and, you know, dinosaurs and trucks. So if you can hit one of them.
Introduce him to cornbread.
I know.
Cornbread zoo.
I'll be like, oh, I swear, if we go and there's one that even remotely looks like cornbread, I am so making him take selfies with it.
Oh, absolutely. You got to post it up.
Oh, I will be. It will go live on the Twitters.
That is great. I love that. That would be too much.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. We've been decorating around here, and it's the most wonderful time of the year, G.
Well, that's what they keep saying. I'm waiting for it, but no, I'm kidding. I know it is. It's good stuff, and I love it. Look, we did these shows last year. I thought to do this about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and went bonkers trying to get people that would be willing to come on the air and share what they do, and it just. Finding people to fill the time is the hard part. But so grateful to you guys for this week. We're gonna have at least one guest next week. I'm working to try to get a second guest. I've got one confirmed. So maybe maybe you can spread it among your misfit friends that didn't make it tonight, that if anybody's available next week, I could get one guest.
Hello?
Hey, we have Daniel Tobin with us now.
Yay!
I wanted to wait as long as I could and build up the suspense for you guys, because I think drama's good for your show, so do that for you.
I don't know that I'd call it suspense. It's probably kind of more like constipation, but we're still glad to have you, Dan.
Oh, glad I made it for the last few minutes. What I meant.
Look, we've been kicking around holiday traditions and what we do and what we like to do with our families and friends, and we're glad you made it in, because we'd love to hear your take on what you guys do in a completely different corner of the universe from where we're all located.
Oh yeah, well it's very exciting up here. The North Pole of, Connecticut. So we do, my wife and I came from like different kind of Christmas traditions, and they do the whole thing where they'll go down, they'll cut down a tree, and, they'll do the whole thing, and they get up early in the morning. I don't do any of that. So we go to Target and I order my tree, and, we set it up.
Rich tradition of Target.
Like we had, we did like a Charlie Brown tree, and that was all right. But now I do like that full blown like aluminum one, like the ones that he didn't want. Those are the ones I get now, the real fancy artificial ones. And
okay.
We decorate that, and we try to. What's interesting with when you have your own family compared to the other traditions is you kind of get to start your own and do something different than what you did or what anybody what you had growing up. So we try to keep part of that. Like we still do. We spend some time on Christmas Eve with my family and some time on Christmas with my wife's family. But we like to have our own time where the girls wake up in our house and they get to open their presents and stuff like that. So it's nice to kind of start your own tradition and kind of see your Christmas grow a little bit, and kind of expand with as the kids grow up and you do different things and you kind of decorate differently and you have different there's different ideas on how to celebrate. So I think that's kind of how I look at it. I wouldn't say we have like a repetitive tradition. I say we try to do things different and add a little bit to it every year and kind of expand on it and see, how it, just how it progresses. And I think we get better every year at it. So that's kind of how we do things here, my house. So.
Well, that's kind of what I always strive for too, Dan. And that, a lot of that registered really true with me, especially being military and we not being around family necessarily at Christmas all the time. So we kind of had to start our own traditions and grow from there and learn how to do that on our own. But I definitely know where you're coming from. The only difference is you're actually up in a winter wonderland where Christmas actually looks like Christmas, probably most every year.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, I mean, we have a few years that are weird, where it was, probably like 50 degrees on Christmas and stuff, but for the most part, it's there's snow on the ground and it's pretty chilly up here.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice. And we do a lot and we still go out and we do the outdoor activities. We have Christmas Village. We go out and we do that. We'll go out, we'll look at lights and all that. that goofy stuff you see in the movies and everything. It's very much a thing up here. You know, I remember as a kid, we used to go around, and I don't know if people still do it, but we used to do the Christmas carols and all that. You know, so it's, you know, I don't know if anybody's knocking on anybody's door and singing these days, but
actually, they do, Dan. At least they do down in the South, and I'm sure
they do.
Do out in Florida too.
We don't see it that much up here anymore. So, but yeah, I remember growing up with some of that. But yeah, it's a little quieter, I think, these days. But you know.
Well, some of that might have something to do with the lunatics in the world where you knock on their door and you get a shotgun blast through it. But I don't know. But anyway.
Or maybe they just were on Twitter and they saw how much people hate Christmas music and they don't want to worry about the haters.
It could change now that the war on Christmas is over, though. You know, we're allowed to say Merry Christmas again, and you know, I mean, you know, we can go and start other traditions like protesting at Starbucks over the holiday cups and all that. That'll be fun.
Man, you know how to call it.
I know
how to call it.
Yeah, I think I think the biggest thing is just to kind of, you know, just make things better every year and as good as you can, or you know, at least appreciate the things that you have. I think that's the biggest thing that Christmas is about. And you know, I go into a lot of people that I run into, and they know I have the two girls, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna spoil your girls this year." I'm like, "I spoil my girls like all year round." So Christmas, it's actually the time where we pull the reins in a little bit, and we're like, "Oh, we're not gonna get them too much," because you know you got the entire family loading stuff on them. So
that's right.
It's kind of nice to be low key in that sense, and just kind of appreciate the more simple things and more simple gifts, and I like practical gifts myself, stuff I can use, you know, and
sure.
Tools and you know whatever, you know, all that stuff. Instead of,
you know what I like? I like tools.
Yeah.
Let me give them a blast from the past here. There was an old TV show called Home Improvement. You know, was it Tim Allen show? I can give you a little.
I know, I love Tim Allen, who is also, by the way, the Santa Claus. So don't miss that either.
That's true. That's true. But I think people relate to that, and you go down, like when you go down into your shop or something just to get something, and you end up spending like, you know, hour and a half down there tinkering with stuff, you know, not anything particular, but just kind of messing around with stuff, and you know, it's just I think it's a guy thing, you know.
It is. So. I get it completely. I don't like doing it, but I do it because I have to save my sanity somehow and get away from everything else.
How it is.
So, yeah, I wish you had been on a little earlier, Dan, or maybe you were listening. You got to hear Jen talk about all the singing and stuff that they do with their family.
She's not surprised.
I was no, I'm not surprised at all. I was indisposed for most of the evening, and you know, hanging. My wife was at a fundraiser, and I was, you know, captain of the ship here with the kids. So
absolutely,
you know, I think I did pretty well myself. You know, one of them was asleep most of the night, so that was easy, and then the other one was watching Mickey's Christmas. You know, and then Mickey's Christmas Part 2. I didn't know if there's a sequel or something.
Oh, I think there's a third one, Dan.
There's a third one. Well, that's good.
It's like, no, thank you. I don't need that info.
Actually, well, no, I mean, well, I've seen the first one probably 100 times over. She watches it all year. So, you know, it's nice to have a change of pace with the third one. You know?
Got to move up to like Twice Upon a Christmas, and then the next one is, shoot, I can't even remember, but there's a third. It's somewhere around there. You'll find it.
That is hilarious.
You'll find it.
Well, guys, I don't know if anybody noticed, but we lost Rex. He's still in the chat room, but
you know, it's terrible.
Yeah, Skype went Tango uniform on him. Hey, Rex, if you hear us, don't worry about it, buddy. We're about to sign off here in just a couple minutes anyway, so don't sweat it. We're actually rounding back up at the top of the hour pretty quick here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thank Dan for getting in here and getting his info on. And we're going to bounce back to the Den Mother real quick here of the Misfits. And Jen, tell everybody where they can find Misfits on Twitter and social media sites other than Twitter, maybe, if there is any such thing with you guys. And let these fine people follow you guys, because you are so vastly underfollowed as a group, and we need to remedy that.
Yeah, well, thank you. So definitely on Twitter at Misfits Politics. We are on Facebook, and pretty much I've snagged the name on almost every social media platform that there is. I haven't done a whole lot with a bunch of those other platforms as of yet, because we've gone through a lot of changes in the last even 6 months, and so there will be things on the horizon after the new year, hopefully, and some new stuff going on. But you can follow us. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook. It's the same thing, Misfits Politics. And then check out the website, misfitspolitics.com, where just last week we hosted a piece by your wonderful host, G. And by the way, this is something I just want to say about Misfits, because I think it gets misconstrued sometimes. It's not about like who's in the group DM with us, and if that is the only that's our core group of people that write and work together and kind of help each other on all these things like Gift Challenge and Mischief and all of that. But we take submissions all the time. It can be on any topic, really. We're just really interested in letting people have a voice, and we'd love for people to contribute as needed. We reserve the right to refuse every now and then, but for the most part, like, we're really open and accepting of a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different kinds of styles. So if anybody would like to send something in, please email us at misfitspolitics@gmail.com, and make sure you DM us on Twitter so that we know for sure you didn't get lost in the spam folder.
There you go. And first of all, thank you for publishing my piece and the previous piece that you published of mine too. They were both great to write. I need to do more of that maybe. And yeah, we'll see. It's always time.
You definitely do.
What's that?
I said you definitely do. Yeah, you got to write a little more for us.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. I can do more than 2 a year, I think.
No pressure.
We'll see.
No. What we mean is get your ass to writing.
But I did want to make one disclaimer real quick, just so the general public knows. I am not a member of the core group. I do not have any access. Regardless of what anybody thinks of my Mischief performance, I have no pre-knowledge of what's coming up.
That is true.
You have to bring game people.
By the way, depending on who's running it, like, the other people in Misfits don't even know, so it's fine.
There you go. See, people, I'm just that good.
Sometimes they just wing it, and it comes out. It's pretty good though. But yeah, it's something we don't know what's going to happen. So
I mean, we
sometimes do something that's so ridiculous, and it just takes off forever. It's so funny.
Right.
It is.
Right. Well, and the way that people start to interact, they get into their own little conversations about something that was, coming off of one of the topics. And so then whoever's on it, it reminds us of, we could do this too. Like, going in this vein of things, let's go ahead and say, and it just kind of can give you an idea for one more thing and one more thing and one more thing, which is where it really gets rolling and can be a lot of fun. And we just love everybody for participating, and we consider you all
give credit for ideas. So if you give us an idea, we use it. We'll give you credit for it. We don't steal ideas or anything like that. So if you give us an idea to use, we'll give you credit for it. And really, the biggest thing, just thanks to everybody who follows and gives support and retweets the pieces and all that stuff. It really means. I know it means a lot to Jen, and it means a lot to the rest of the group that we have such a following and that people stick around. And it's not really always about getting more followers. It's just about, it's just about bringing the ones that we have.
All right, guys. Yeah, hit it, Rick. Go.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years. Here's to you, feel the grass, the life your life, kick my ass, and thank you. was.